The medical interns are having a Pac-Man tournament.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kiran. I'm a junior doctor and a comedian working in Manchester. As always, if you're new, make sure you're subscribed so you can join the team. I remember my first day as a doctor being absolutely terrified of everything. Terrified of touching a patient, terrified of talking to a patient, terrified of prescribing anything at all. And today I am joined by Sanchit.
Hi, I'm Sanchit.
And Varun.
Hi, I'm Varun.
From the channel Scanning the Mind, so make sure you check their channel out. And we're going to be comparing our first day as doctors to one of the most famous first days ever. We're talking about JD's first day from Scrubs, episode 1.
Since I was a kid, I've been able to sleep through anything. Storms, sirens, you name it. Last night I didn't sleep. You see, today isn't just any other.
I mean, I feel like I didn't do that, but how did you sleep the first night before you started your first day?
Oh, I was so scared. Because I just moved from London to Huddersfield. Didn't know anyone, had no idea what was going to happen.
The classic pilgrimage.
Yeah. And so I was living by myself. I'd got the flat while in like Thailand, so I was barely used to the area. I hadn't seen it or anything before I'd moved in. And I was so scared.
Did you know anyone there?
No, not a single person. Didn't you go to the wrong hospital as well?
You went to the wrong hospital on your first day?
Yes, but I was so prepared and arrived so early to the first hospital, I still made it to the second one in time.
I feel like everyone arrived at the first day so early, didn't they?
Yeah, I was proper early. Yeah. I actually crashed my car on the first day.
You crashed your car?
Yeah.
Before you went to the hospital?
Yeah. So I was, again, same as Sanchit. I was in a new flat, lived there for 2 days, and I was nervous, but I slept quite well. I can sleep through anything. Reversed out and smashed in somebody's car. I was like, this is not what I want on my first day.
You'd be so nervous about being late as well, wouldn't you?
It's my first day. I'm the man.
Those are the exact scrubs we have at our hospital as well.
Yeah, I think they're just universal everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah.
And if they had to do it all again.
And 4 years of pre-med, 4 years of med school, and tons of unpaid loans have made me realize one thing.
Good. Could you go drop an NG tube on the patient in 234 and call the attending if the lavage is positive?
I don't know jack.
That's how I feel every time I walk into A&E.
Yeah.
You just walk in, you're like, what is this? It's like a zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like as well, isn't it? You walk, there's like patients in the corridor, there's someone with blood holding their nose.
Yeah.
There's
Everyone looks really upset.
There's like a psych patient locked in that little psych room trying to get out.
Yeah, and then if the nurses think you're somebody they need, they're like, oh, doctor, like this and this. I'm like, no, I'm the radiologist. Like, no, I'm just walking through.
Hospital doesn't want to be sued. Being sued is not a good thing.
Did you get a talk like that about lawsuits? Did they say anything about legal things when you were?
No, I don't think so. Not really. I think this is a very American thing.
Yeah.
It is a very American thing. That's why we're glad to be here.
Yeah.
The medical interns are having a Pac-Man tournament.
See, I want to say it's a stereotype, but I feel like some stereotypes are there. A Pac-Man tournament.
That's if you're a medical trainee in the UK, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
This is how they get inducted into medical training.
You have to have a certain score before you're allowed in.
I'm JD, this is Turk.
Elliot, you medical or surgical?
In the UK, this is how it's slightly different because in Scrubs, it's straight off. They're first starting in the hospital, they're split into medical or surgical.
Yeah.
Whereas here we rotate through, so I feel like we don't have the same divide that they have there.
They don't really have the concept of F1 and F2, do they? Theirs is you finish med school and you apply for medicine or surgery or whatever.
Yeah, finally. These are your beepers. From now on, they control your entire life. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that is like, that's the first bit that's been completely the same as here, is that your bleep just controls exactly what you're doing all day, every day.
I feel like I get PTSD from my bleep now. But like when I hear that noise, even if it's not me going off, I'm like, where's that coming from?
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's so nice. I don't have a bleep anymore. But they need to just ring you when doing on calls, so it's so nice. But yeah, if I'm walking through A&E or somewhere, and the bleep goes off, I'm like, whew,
It's horrible, isn't it?
Hi, doctor, I'm...
Place an IV for me.
We'll talk later.
Carla, can I ask you a personal question?
That's
Do you
pressure,
spray
isn't
the
it, as well? Trying to put a cannula in
Yeah.
when someone's asked you to and watching you.
And it's
in
your
like a high pressure
consultant.
situation. On your first day, that's so high risk. I don't know how many cannulas you'd put in before you started as working as a doctor.
Single figures.
Really?
Single figures.
Mine was definitely the same.
Yeah.
Single figures.
Zero.
Mine was similar with ABGs. So I started on a resp job.
Right.
No, I had to do an ABG. Literally no idea. I think I'd seen it once and practiced on one of those little arms, like the fake arms.
The reason is because they always say, oh, you know, it's a difficult one, I'll do this
Yeah.
one, and then you never get to do it.
Yeah.
And then you're on call and you're like, oh, you need to do this ABG, and you just have to do it.
I feel like that's the best way to learn though, because unless you have the pressure on you that if I don't do it, who's going to do it, you'll just be like, oh, you know, I couldn't get it and this and that. But I think if the pressure's on you, you'll always get it.
Hey, nice clean job on the Foley catheter.
I had a nurse do it. Unfortunately, I'm still afraid to touch it.
Can you imagine on a ward round lifting the bedsheet and being like, good catheter?
I've seen something similar happen.
Really?
What's a 4-way catheter?
Those are Foley.
Oh, Foley.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I was about to say, where's a 4th way?
You don't want to know what the fourth one is. Don't worry about that.
So we got the nurse to do that catheter anyway, and then she just like turned around and was like,
Infection?
That's my girl. Moving on.
ever have big ward rounds like this where you got quizzed?
No, never.
Yeah, I did. When I did a surgical job in F2, we had very similar ward runs. So if you did nights especially, they'd make you stay like an hour or two later to see all the patients you clocked in. And there'd be like, I'm not joking, 20 people in the ward round. And some of the consultants would really like that. I quite liked it, because if you didn't know the answer, it was just quite funny.
But I think the worst thing about that is that you've just finished your nights.
Yeah.
So you've worked 13 hours, whatever, and it's the morning and you want to go home.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people did kick up a fuss about it. I didn't really mind. I was like, fine, it is what it is. But yeah, some of the consultants would be like, oh, so tell me about the Krebs cycle. I'm like, mate, listen, I've been awake for 15 hours now. I'm not telling you about the Krebs cycle. I don't think I knew it in the first place.
Yes.
Did you actually just page me to find out how much Tylenol to give to Mrs. Lenzner?
I was worried that it could exacerbate the patient's...
It's regular strength Tylenol. Here's what you do. Get her to open her mouth, take a handful, and throw it at her. Whatever sticks, that's the correct dosage. But
That's so true. On my first, I remember that being like, paracetamol. BNF open being like, 500. Yeah, okay.
Just to make sure.
Just to make sure.
I didn't even prescribe anything on my first day.
Milligrams.
I was so like nervous about doing anything, and there was like an A&P who I was just getting her to do everything. I love that he's ripped off the sleeves of his scrubs as well.
All right, Todd, JD, this is my man Todd. Let's go.
The necrosis and infected stool most likely indicate what, Dr. Dorian?
Sir, I have no idea.
That's always such an awkward moment when you're in some sort of teaching or like bedside thing and someone asks you a question and you literally have no idea.
And you think, oh, should I make something up? Should I just give it a go? Or should I say, I don't know?
Oh, it's really bad. So with radiology, they do like, you present a case to loads of people, and so you scroll through it, and obviously when you start, you don't know what's going on. And be like, yeah, normal. I'd report this normal. Say, yeah, their bowel's perforated, they've got a pneumothorax, and their ribs are broken.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah.
Close,
I was nearly there.
Reed, can you help him out?
I'd say it's superior mesenteric insufficiency.
Oh, what a snake.
That's my girl.
You got these snakes at med
Number
school,
two.
didn't you? Yeah. They'll try and answer the questions and like pretend to you that they don't know anything.
Or it's the whole always talking about how little they've revised and they've just been chilling, and actual fact they've been revising like 10 hours a day.
Yeah, I don't really revise. Does the exam 100%. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, why lie about it?
If you're one of those guys, stop being one of those guys.
Draining Miss Pratt's stomach fluid will get my spirits back up.
He's doing
Shut
like
up and do it.
an acidic
Fantastic.
tap on his
Now
second
just
day.
suck out the fluid with the
pretty
giant
good going.
needle.
I didn't prescribe anything. He's doing
By doing,
an acidic
learn
tap.
by doing.
Why couldn't I do
Quite
that?
deep, I'll be honest.
I hated him at that moment. The first doctor in has to run the room, tell everyone what to do, basically decide if the patient lives or dies. What am I, crazy?
Rookie mistakes, running too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll get there and be like, and then, if you're the first, and also, let's be honest, you don't want to be the first doctor.
There's always that fear as an F1 that you're going to be the first person that you're going to have to do something.
But it is terrifying being there first.
Because then everyone who's already there and has kind of initiated things look at you to like come and take over and just sort things out.
Yeah.
And you're there like, oh, I hope MedReg gets there first.
Yeah, they're like, I've not prescribed paracetamol yet.
So you're there trying to get there as fast as you can, but hoping that someone is there as well.
You're worried about being on call tonight, aren't you?
Yeah.
I was really nervous before my first on-call shift. My first on-call was a night shift, and I could hardly sleep the day before because I was like, I didn't know really how to do anything at that point. And I needed help all the time, and I just thought being alone at night.
You don't have your team because everyone's just separate and doing their own thing.
Yeah.
I feel like when you start as well, you kind of, I think a lot of people have self-doubt. They think, I'm going to be worse than the F1s. Really, no one has a clue what's going on.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the problem. If you just knew that everyone knows as little as you, it would make things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Hey, nurse.
I'm a doctor, okay? The stethoscope, the beeper.
Oh, that happens quite a lot.
That happens all the time.
Relax. Just hate it. I hate darling.
Or it's even more awkward when you're going to see a patient with your reg who's female and is probably like 5 or 6 years older than you, and they'll refer to you as like the reg or the more senior doctor, and you're there like, no, I don't know anything, listen to her.
It happened finally at med school once. There was a female surgeon, and I'm a fifth year medical, not even a doctor, and really good surgeon. She explained everything to the patient, and then this guy just turns to me and goes, so what's the boss think? And I mean, I can't go red because of my complexion, but if I was Caucasian, I would have been bright red. I suppose I'm not the boss, just mumbled something under my breath and just, kept my head down.
Hey, champ. First night on call starts soon, huh? Gosh, you must be excited.
You betcha.
That was everyone's internal monologue before their first on call.
I know not what
I have been tempted to do that before.
Right. I've often thought, I've seen something really nice and I've thought, what would happen if I ate that?
Yeah.
I mean, this patient's not going to know, but...
have you ever tried the Ensures?
No.
They're quite nice.
Really? I hated them. I had a banana flavour one, that might be why.
Oh, the chocolate one was
disgusting.
nice. I was on Jerry's job and I said to one of the nurses, I was like, I've always wanted to try one. What do they taste like? Because patients complain about them. So there you go.
I bet it'd be great for like bulking.
Yeah.
They're so high calorie.
I've got loads in the back really.
every time.
See, this is what you're doing
Bambi, come on, let's go.
When you're on call, it just feels like you're getting pulled in so many directions. You can't concentrate on one task properly because everyone is asking you loads of different things.
Yeah. And everyone presents their problem as the most urgent thing ever, and you have to see them straight away. And you're there with like 20 other things that you need to do that are way more urgent.
I'll never forget that moment. The way he looked exactly the same, only completely different. Time of death 0200.
Do you remember the first time you had to do that? Or saw a dead body? It was really, I remember doing it for the first time as an F1, and the family were all there, and you have to obviously listen to the heart sounds, and it's like a whole thing we have to do. I don't think I'll ever forget that. It was really, really strange experience.
And it's exactly like he said, they look the same but completely different.
Yeah.
It looks like they're not a real person anymore, like they're like embalmed in wax almost.
Yeah. Especially if it's not like straight away, it's been a little bit of time before you go and see them. Because sometimes the families want to spend time with their loved ones, so you don't want to go in like straight away. And yeah, it feels weird.
It feels wrong that you should be there, I think. But it's what it is. Part of the job.
Also, that's definitely not the way you confirm someone's death in the UK. He just went, 9 o'clock.
Yeah. You have to properly check.
It's a good thing they make surgical masks, because if they didn't, everyone would know that my face is like this the whole time.
I think that's true. Like, everyone pretends that they're absolutely fine, but even experienced people still get scared at doing things.
But I think it's important to maintain that facade sometimes, because if you show up to, let's say, cardiac arrest and you're the first doctor there, if you start panicking, it makes everything so much worse. So I think even if inside you're panicking, it's important to maintain that facade.
What a first week.
Well, don't be gentle. Get it in there.
Okay, connect it, please, Carl.
Smashed it.
Yeah.
Normal rhythm.
No way.
That was a quick response as well.
Piece of cake.
That was way more than I did in my first week.
Yeah, I mean, I've never done that. So, I've been a doctor for like 5 years. I've never done that.
I've also been a doctor for 4 years and I've never done that.
Well, I think you'd be, if on psych you were doing that, I'd be a bit worried.
That's true. Yeah. Something's gone drastically wrong if I'm doing that on site.
That's enough.
Sorry. It's a very big moment for me.
I got through my first 3 days without looking like a complete idiot.
That was Scrubs episode 1 and comparing it to our first days as a doctor. As always, if you are new and this is the first video you have seen, make sure you're subscribed and make sure you check out the channel Scanning the Mind. What kind of videos do you guys make?
I think how we describe it. Yeah. Pretty similar to yourselves. Stuff around medicine. Just
a bit of everything really, yeah.
Anything that we find interesting basically.
So if you enjoy this sort of stuff, make sure you check out the channel Scanning the Mind. Take care and I'll see you next week.